Hello there and welcome to Trope on a Rope, the show where we delve into the tropes that have come to define cinema and see which films are fine examples of their type and which are a load of old rope. In the early 2000s and the post-coital glow of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, Hollywood was all a tither. It turned out that not only did epic fantasy have a mainstream audience, but the technology existed to make the previously unfilmable unfilmable. Cue the sudden rush to buy up every fantasy available and rush it into production, for there was money in them thar misty mountains. Problem was, effects-laden high fantasy is expensive as shit, and if returns weren't forthcoming after the first installment, plugs were pulled, and these films joined the ranks of our current topic, franchise false starts. So far, we've looked at Disney's John Carter and Tom Cruise's The Mummy. This week, we look at a film that failed in its attempt to kick off a franchise, but whose story was successfully remade 13 years later as the correctly titled TV show, His Dark Materials. This week, we look at 2007's incorrectly titled The Golden Compass. My name's Jeff, and I'm joined by Mr. Colin Gerard. You right, mate?
I'm actually in a very, very good mood today. Drinking a chew-high, sipping a bud, having a chocolate bar. Fantastic. So today's the last of the three of the trope, right?
Yes, today's the last one. Shall we get into it then? The Golden Compass follows the story of a little girl who lives in a world where your soul lives outside your body in the form of an animal. Most people have normal and cool animals. People who work as security guards have guard dogs for some reason, in an extreme form of normative determinism. And what if your animal spirit is a fish? Do you have to live by the sea now? And are there, like, normal animals? Are there cows that aren't spirit animals? Are there cows that are? And which tastes better? I have similar questions concerning the world of Pokemon.
If it's a fish, does that mean you're never allowed to be a fisherman, ever? Or does it mean you have to be a fisherman?
Do normal animals exist?
And do normal animals... Yeah, well, they're not really normal, are they?
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing any in the movie once.
Neither do I. I'm racking my brains going, were there normal animals in the background at any point, or are all animals that you see demons?
And even if they are, how would you know? Because it's not like... It might be a demon, it might not be. Just because it's not interacting with you as a viewer of the movie.
Like, does it speak or not?
Yeah.
But, you know, it might be a particularly standoffish cow.
Well, she goes to the place where they're killing the kids at one point, and there's loads of animals running around. They probably are demons, but you can't be certain because not all of them are speaking going, "Hi, I'm a demon." They don't have name tags.
Yeah. And also, not all demons talk, like Mrs. Coulter's demon doesn't talk.
Well, maybe it can. Who knows? Maybe it's just shy.
Anyway, what were your initial thoughts about this film?
I was actually quite... I'd actually heard that the books were really good.
Yeah.
I've never read them, but very quickly getting into the movie, I noticed that I didn't have a fucking clue what was going on. The first thing I noticed was the accents really pissed me off.
Yeah.
It was the Cockney accent, but done by an obviously very, very posh person who just says things in a very posh accent and then goes "ain't" every now and then.
Yeah.
Hello, could I get some of your water, please, sir? Ain't it?
I do have a note on that. At the beginning and end, when she's around Roger, she has a Cockney accent, but then in the middle of the film, she becomes posh.
That is a little bit kind of explained. It's she's like because he's like just a mere kitchen boy, and he calls her a lady, but he's his friend, so she wants to fit in with him. So maybe she puts on the accent only when she's with him. But it's just even his accent, the genuinely poor, like a Cockney guy, is not a Cockney. He's also obviously a rich kid doing a Cockney accent.
It's definite. There's definite Oliver twisting going on.
Yeah, or what's her name? Umbrella lady who cleans stuff.
Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins.
Dick Van Dyke.
Yeah, that's what it reminded me of. I got past it, but it grated for the first 10 minutes of the movie. And also, they seem to just instantly jump into this world where apparently they assume that everyone who's watching this movie has read the book. It's like you just seem to know they had like a 5-second narration at the beginning to explain about the souls and stuff.
Yeah,
like the introduction to this podcast. But then so much was not even slightly explained, like who the characters were, I don't know what was going on, why there was problems, what dust is,
Yeah.
why is dust so bad? Like,
Yeah.
you just like, is this either assumed you know it or you don't need to know it?
Yeah.
But it seems to be really important. So you just seemed a little bit lost from the very beginning.
So my position on this is I do have the books. I've got all the book series. I've read the first two, and I've also seen the BBC HBO remake.
Okay.
No, it's not a remake of this, it's just another adaptation of this.
Okay.
Where they've actually finished it. I've seen the first two seasons out of three, and I skipped to the end, and so I know what happens in the end.
What are the books like, by the way, in your opinion?
The book is really good. It is classed as a YA novel ish,
A what?
like young adult.
Oh, okay.
It's a bit classed as that, but it's a lot darker than that.
Yeah, there's very, very anti-religion vibe happening there. Like it seemed like the Catholic Church or something.
Yeah, I mean the books and the film have a very strong like Chronicles of Narnia kind of feeling to them.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
But the theme is the exact opposite of the Chronicles of Narnia.
What was the themes of the Chronicle of Narnia again?
It's Aslan's Jesus.
Oh, okay, yeah, and he sacrifices himself on. Okay, gotcha.
Whereas this is, yeah, no, religion's crook, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I got. The vibe I got from the movie, anyway.
Like the film and the BBC version. It's BBC and HBO, but that's too many letters to be saying in a row every time. So I'm just going to call it the BBC version from now on. Like the BBC version and the books, they're very close to what the film is. There is one key difference, and it's the ending.
The ending of this movie, yeah. The ending of the Golden Compass.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll get into that later, because it's a bit spoilery to have up top.
Yeah, it's the end, right?
However, I do genuinely like this movie.
No, I liked it as well. I just felt really lost throughout. There was so much going on. I don't know if I should say this now, but my main problem with it. Maybe I'll get to it later.
All right. You're right. There's so much going on. Like, it is definitely based on a book because it has so many things going on in it. There's so many layers of stuff happening. You've got the thing with the demons, and then you've also got multiverse.
Yeah.
Then you've also got those witches.
Like randomly, all of a sudden, there are witches.
And then there's also whatever Lord Asriel's doing.
There's the obvious gypsies who are also slightly pirates and called the what are they called again? The
Egyptians.
Egyptians. So is that a play on Egypt or gypsies or?
It's got all of these things in it, and they all seem a bit rushed.
Yeah, the pacing is that's why I get lost in this movie. There's so much, and the pacing of the movie is just like, we've got to get through all this material in this amount of time. By the way, we've got to get this out. We've got to get all of this information into this small package really, really quickly. And like, oh, don't worry, they've probably read the book. It was really popular. They'll get it.
So that said, like the idea of like the BBC version, which is a TV show,
where you can slow down the pacing a lot easier, right?
Like the first season covers the first book and a little bit of the second one, and it's over 8 one-hour episodes.
Yeah.
So it's you can take time with everything, you can appreciate everything, you can settle into the world, and when something else comes up, you go, oh, now this is another level of this complicated world. Okay, I'm happy with this. I can live with this. Whereas in this, it's like
everything at once.
Your soul is an animal that lives outside your body. Sorry, what? There's a multiverse, other worlds.
Witches!
This one looks like our world, but isn't our world. It looks almost identical, but everything's fucked. Okay, fuck. What? Yeah, witches are in there. Something about Jesus, but not Jesus.
Asriel's a dude. By the way. Oh, wait, sorry. This is like people shouting over each other.
Anyway, so have you got all that? Yeah, no, I think right. Bears. There's Bear Kings.
What the fuck are the bears?
I can't. I'm having a panic attack.
Are the bears demons? They're not demons. They want to have demons.
Oh yeah, but they don't have. Yeah, the bears aren't demons.
Why do they want demons? Help! I'm lost. But my biggest problem with my second biggest problem with this is that I saw when I was watching it like a really, really good story.
Yeah.
Like, there's definitely a good story there. It was just so much crammed in and so much at once that it's really hard to follow what actually the main point of the film was at first.
The plot about the children going missing,
Which also goes missing, the plot itself.
that is that's a film of its own without all this extra stuff around the edge.
Yeah.
But it just, like you say, it just gets lost within everything else that's going on because you have to barrel through all of this it's under 2 hours, this film.
And it's 1 hour and 47 minutes, I think. Or 1 hour 47 minutes, I think.
7 of which are probably the credits.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
So that's not a lot of time to introduce all of this bollocks.
Yeah, and it drew on a lot of different sources. Like, who's the director of this? Because I felt like the narration at the beginning was very Lord of the Rings esque, and then it just kind of fell into what's his name, the chimney sweep guy, Charlie Chaplin? No, not Charlie Chaplin.
Dick Van Dyke.
No, please, sir, may I have some more? More?
Ollie Twist.
Okay, yeah. So then it falls into Oliver Twist, and then all of a sudden it's Narnia. It seemed to be drawing from a lot of different fantasy genres, movies, trying to take its little parts of it, the best parts of everything.
The film starts not even in the world that it's set in. The film starts, the very first shot of the film is our world.
Yeah.
You see Oxford modern day, and there's a voiceover which briefly explains that A, there's multiple worlds, and B, the world that we're going to, people's souls live outside of their bodies in the form of animals called demons. So yeah, in this world, there's a whole bunch of things that we don't have. They've got demons, witches, they've got airships. They take airships everywhere. They've got talking bears. There's the thing about dust, the magisterium, which is their weird church. They've got a weird form of electricity, which comes up more in the books. Egyptians and the multiverse. And you've all got get your head around that in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah. Which, fair enough, whatever. Okay, I can deal with that because I still enjoyed the movie. It was like, but you have to really like kind of just get over that first, like, what the fuck is going on? Just go, do you know what? I'm just going to sit back and enjoy the ride. And it's quite hard to do.
I've made some notes about the various different bits. So demons, they're the physical manifestation of the human soul.
Yeah.
They can't be separated from a human without killing them.
Yeah.
If someone takes your demon too far away from you, it physically hurts you.
Yeah. I've got a question about that for later, actually.
Usually, but not always, the demon is the opposite gender of the person.
Seems to also be, from what I noticed, is it Lara, the main character?
Lyra.
She also seemed to be the exact opposite personality. Like she was really, really brave and would just do everything, and he was always like oh, you can't do that, it might be dangerous.
It seems that some of your personality traits will be more in the demon than in you. Together, you are a complete person.
So it's like the demon has taken away her fear, and like, so that's why she's brave and bold, and he's a whiny little bitch.
Because like later on, when you meet Lee Scoresby, for example, he's like a bold adventurer, but his demon, the rabbit Hester, is slightly more cautious and level-headed.
Yeah, and like is it Nicole Kidman?
Nicole Kidman, yeah.
So she's also like sly, cunning, and subtle, and like whereas her monkey is like really bold and just causing problems and stealing shit and doesn't give a fuck. There's nothing sly about that monkey at all. So it's like the demon and the person have opposite traits.
Yeah, or the demon will, in the case of Nicole Kidman's character, Mrs. Coulter, the demon will exhibit feelings and emotions that the human tries to bury.
Hide.
Yeah, hide is a better word.
Okay.
So one of the reasons why Mrs. Coulter's demon doesn't talk, it's the only one that doesn't talk. Everyone else talks because like her own repression is manifested in the monkey. It's why it's very like closed off and guarded, but it will physically lash out at things.
Okay.
It's also the reason why she seems to not like her demons.
I didn't notice that.
I can't remember. I'm sure it happens in the film, but I know it happens in the TV show and the books where she's physically violent to the monkey. She'll hit it and smack it around.
Oh, it does happen once, and then she's like, "No, no, I'm sorry, I would never hurt you." And I literally said to the movie, "You just literally hurt it." So now you're lying.
So because she is so controlled in of herself, whenever the monkey shows emotions that she wants to hide, that's why she hates it, because it will show slip ups in her personality.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, she's betraying her that she's actually not as insecure as she presents herself to be. That she does feel a little bit of panic sometimes.
Yeah, you can't separate from your demon, but witches can. There is a way for humans to do it. It explains it in the book. It's taboo to touch another person's demon. Demons can touch each other, but you can't touch someone else's. I do have a question. When humans fuck, do the demons? Because I asked this because it's revealed later that Lord Asriel and Mrs. Coulter were in a relationship. Lord Asriel has a large female snow leopard, and she's got that little golden monkey. Does the golden monkey fuck this?
Okay, I see why you asked now.
You asked about the Egyptians. Moving on from demons, the Egyptians, they're not the same as Romany gypsies in our world.
Well, I mean, yeah, but they are. They're nomad. They're nomads or of some sort.
It says on the Wikipedia page for this that they're a nomad tribe from East Anglia.
From East Anglia. I'm from East Anglia.
Yeah, because the layout of the world is slightly different. Instead of America and Canada, there is New France, New Netherlands, I think, and then Texas are the three countries that it becomes. So yeah, Britain is Britain, but it's spelt Brytain. Russia is two countries, Muscovy and Tartary. And America is Texas, New Denmark and New France. And then you have the Magisterium, the worldwide faith.
Which I never really got. I understand. Like I said, so much happening in the movie. I never really got what the Magisterium was.
So the Magisterium is the worldwide faith. It's analogous. Is that the right word?
Is it an organization, or is it just like the
government?
It's the government. Okay.
No, it's not the government. I was just filling in the rest of your question.
Oh no. Is it just what like the faith that people believe in? The name of the religion, or is it the name of the organization?
It's the name of the organization.
Okay.
So religion is their religion. They serve a god who is called the Authority.
Oh, that was a god.
The name of God in this is the Authority, and the Magisterium serves the Authority. And the Magisterium doesn't govern the world, but it has influence over everything.
Okay.
And they see things like science, especially anything looking into dust, as heresy.
What the fuck is dust, by the way? It's never actually explained. You're told it's bad.
The Wikipedia page, I had to look it up because I still don't know. Apparently, it's an elementary particle that's responsible for consciousness.
Okay, why is that bad?
Like everything that's alive comes from dust. Apparently.
Okay, okay, and the Magisterium doesn't like dust because it makes people too individualistic.
Something like that. Also, it proves the existence of the multiverse, and they don't want anyone to know about that.
By the way, is there what was the name of the series, the TV series version?
That's a good point. The book is called Northern Lights. It's a Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone situation. In America, it was retitled The Golden Compass. Like the golden compass in this, the alethiometer, is referred to as a golden compass like once, and then they call it an alethiometer for the rest of the film. So I don't know why they changed the title.
Americans.
The book series and the TV show is called His Dark Materials.
Okay, and is that HBO or Disney Plus or something?
Be on HBO in America, and it's on BBC iPlayer here.
Oh, I can get BBC iPlayer because I would be interested. Anyway, continue. Sorry.
Right, so we start with Jordan College at the beginning. Lord Asriel, he's a bit of a dick, isn't he?
He is a bit of a dick,
especially to Lyra. Who is his
daughter, apparently.
Well, at the moment, niece.
And she's for some reason he's a right dick to her, but does it just unnecessarily mean?
He's unnecessarily mean to her constantly. Any kind of interest that she has in him, he just tells her to fuck off. And when she gets upset, he's like, "Oh, well, you're gonna fucking cry about it? Just why are you being such a dick?"
Maybe she reminds him of her mother.
Possibly, but she worships him despite the fact that he is a dick. In the background, there's this children are disappearing plot line.
Yeah, it's like it's just whispered about every now and then.
They just mention it in the background, and they're like the kids have turned it into a game, like finding these gobblers, and none of the adults seem to give a shit.
Yeah, and they was talking about the gobblers. I just remember thinking, what the fuck is a gobbler?
Roger and Billy Costa are running around the streets at night, and they're approached by a shadowy figure who takes them away. And it's like, dun dun dun, who's this? But they do show the shadowy figure's demon.
I can't remember what the demon was.
It's the golden fucking monkey.
Did they? I missed that. I must have, fuck! I must have looked away from the screen or something. So I would have that would have made so much more sense when she walks in all smug in the first time you meet Nicole Kidman.
Yeah,
it would have made so much more sense why she was so smug.
Yeah.
If as an audience member, I already knew she was the bad person, but no one else did, and she could have that smug. That would have made more sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Fuck.
But yeah, you see Mrs. Coulter, she's fancy, and everyone talks about her like she's scary.
Yeah, even the main magistrate guy just like does anything that she asks.
I mean, she's a bit sinister, but she's not scary. His Dark Materials version, the BBC one, is played by Ruth Wilson. And she fucking nails it.
Oh yeah, better than the Nicole Kidman version.
Yeah, 100 times better, but practically steals the show.
Good. I like characters who do that. Actors who do that.
Mrs. Coulter leans in and tells Lyra, because she's talking about the North, and Lord Asriel is fucked off up north to do science to do with dust.
Yeah, for some reason. He wants to find the multiverse, doesn't he? Or something?
Yeah, he thinks there's a bridge to the multiverse up north somewhere by the Northern Lights, hence the name of the book. So, Mrs. Coulter's there, and she's talking to Lyra, and she's like, "I'll tell you something that I probably shouldn't," and tells her about the king, the Bear King, not having a demon.
Thinks that he's a human, like the Bear King thinks he's a human or something.
Yeah, he wants to be a human. Yeah.
Oh, that's why he wants a demon.
Hang on, there's some King Louis shit going on there. Anyway, she leans in and says, "I'll tell you something I probably shouldn't." But I'm like, she might as well just lean in and say, "I'll tell you something that will become important later."
Oh, by the way, foreshadowing.
And then winks at the camera. We have a brief conference with the Magisterium Old Guy Conference, where three guys from the Magisterium. We've got surprise Christopher Lee cameo, that guy who played Caligula, and guy number 3.
I don't know who the guy number 3 was.
Exactly, that's why I called him guy number 3.
But I fucking love Christopher Lee though.
Christopher Lee and the guy who played Caligula, I'm all about that. But yeah, they have a little conference and say, "Oh, shit's crook. Lord Asriel's been a dick. Whatever Mrs. Coulter's doing, that's good. How's that going? An alethiometer, whatever that is, we've not been told yet." Lyra goes off with Mrs. Coulter. Mrs. Coulter's going on a thing up north, and she's hired Lyra as her assistant.
Yeah, I remember why she does that now. I was about to ask, but
Lyra gets the alethiometer from the teachers at the college. It's called a golden compass for a second, and then they never say it again. So if you're playing a drinking game where you get to drink every time someone says the title of the movie, this is the only fucking time.
It better be a big fucking drink.
Lyra goes with Mrs. Coulter to London, and they stay in London for a bit. And it's never explained in the film why they're in London for so long. But basically, Mrs. Coulter, she's doing these wining and dining and meeting a load of people and having dinner parties and all that kind of shit, because she's raising money for her expedition north.
Okay.
But it's not explained in the film. It's just they go to London and play dress up and parties for a bit. but she already feels like a wrong un because she's mean to Lyra a couple of times, and the monkey's a twat. It's at that point that Lyra discovers that she's the Gobblers. Not she's as in Lyra herself, but as Mrs. Gobbler. Mrs. Gobbler.
Mrs. Gobbler.
Mrs. Coulter is the Gobblers, right? There's a exchange between Lyra and her demon, who's called Pan. She gets this piece of paper out the bin, and it says General Ablation Board, who Mrs. Coulter works for. And Pan, the demon, goes, G-O-B. And Lyra's reaction is, Gobblers. Lyra says, Gobblers, from the letters G-O-B. I was like, yeah, no, Pan just said that.
And also a bit of a stretch.
It's a little bit of a stretch.
Like, that was the most conclusive evidence ever. G-O-B. That's the first three letters of Gobblers. We've solved the mystery. What? No, you haven't.
Also, isn't Gobblers what you called them on the street?
It's not their actual name, right?
Yeah, it's not their actual name. Like the kids on the street have called them this because they, air quotes, gobble children up. That's where the name comes from to you, not the letters of the General Ablation Board. Lyra, realizing that Mrs. Coulter's a wrong un, nearly said Mrs. Gobbler again. Mrs. Coulter's a wrong un. She does a runner and then gets caught immediately by a different group of people.
The gypsies, Egyptians.
Yeah, she meets the Egyptians
and immediately trusts them.
Well, Billy Costa, his mum's there.
Ah, okay. And she knows.
So the boy that went missing with what's his name? Roger. It's also the kid that she finds in the hut later.
Yeah, good questions about that too. Continue.
Anyway, I think skipping over the Egyptians bit because nothing really happens here. They go up north. They meet Mayor West from Family Guy, whose name I can't remember. Sam Elliott.
Yeah, brilliant.
They meet him, and they meet a drunk bear played by Ian McKellen.
I was about to say, was that Gandalf?
Yeah, that was Gandalf. Gandalf the bear. She rescues the bear by getting its armor back. Right, she rescues the bear by. The bear is a drunk and working for humans, working for a bucket of whiskey, because he's lost his armor. And she finds out where it is. And where it is just it's in the town hall or something like that.
Where you'd expect, like...
It's in the office of the magisterium. It's where you would hide bear armor.
Is it in the lost and found section, perhaps?
Yeah, it's not hidden. It's in the official offices of the magisterium. Like, how come you hadn't figured that out? That'd be the first place you'd look.
He's only a bear.
Where did they take my armor? Oh, the place where they are, I suppose. Anyway, she gets talked into helping the bear out by Scoresby, and she just goes along with it for some reason.
Scoresby, quite like the Scoresby character.
I do like him, yeah. It's Lin-Manuel Miranda in the TV show.
I don't know who, or why he is, but he's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's to have like a soft-spoken, world-wise Texan is a nice character to have around. I've got the next section I've got in my notes is called "Where's Ratter?"
The rat,
where they find Billy Costa.
Oh, well, in the hut. Yeah, here's where my question happens from earlier. If your demon gets too far away from you, you die. Why are they able to cut them away and separate them, and then they don't die?
So that's what the machine does. We'll get into the machine in a second. I will return to that.
Okay.
The Egyptians, for a start, the Egyptians are looking after Lyra as they head north, and she's like one of their most valuable asset to them at the moment. But she gets to wander off anytime she feels, and she disappears with the bear for like an afternoon and a day to find this kid in a hut. She doesn't tell anyone where she's going. She just fucks off.
Yeah, no, they're not doing a very good job of tracking her.
So yeah, they find Billy Costa, and Billy Costa's just alone in this hut, and his demon's missing. And he's like hollowed out. What's left of him is like half a person. He seems fucked, and all he's doing is going, "Where's Rata? Where's Rata?" And he's got like a dead. He's got a dead. There are animal skins hanging in the roof of that hut because he's holding on to like a dead rat or something in his hands. So there are other animals in this world.
Unless he's killing other people's demons.
But you can't do that because if you kill a demon, it doesn't physically stay in the world anymore. It turns into dust and fucks off.
Fair point. Well made.
So yes, there are animals in this world. Haha, fuck you. So he's like holding like a dead rat or a dead pigeon or whatever the fuck, going, "Where's Rata?" And she takes him back to his mum, and they freak out. She then gets kidnapped super easily by like 3 guys who take her off to the Bear King for some reason.
Why the fuck do they take him to the Bear King?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, is it because maybe they're just working? They're probably hired by the Bear King. They're going to get paid like they're assassins, not assassins, but they're going to try and get her. And why her? No, that doesn't make any. I'm not making any sense.
They do specifically go and get her, and then they present her to the Bear King, who's like, "I don't know who you are."
Yeah,
because then she pretends to be a demon.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know why any of this section exists.
Well, but so the story can move along.
It's not even so the story can move along, because this is like completely left of field, like bare politics stuff.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Because yeah, fair enough. That what's the name of the friendly bear again?
Yorick, yeah, something Yorick.
Yorick. So like he becomes the Bear King, but like so.
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck? Well, well done, Yorick.
Because he just turns up later on his own. Does he turn up with other bears later?
No.
He just turns up by himself.
Yeah, so well done for becoming the king of the bears. I don't know why we're watching this. Where are the fucking kids?
Well, meeting the king and the demon plan, pretending to be a demon, is fun and all. That king is a fucking idiot.
Yeah, he is.
Because he just goes along with it and just goes, "Oh yeah, no, I'd like a demon. You're a demon, are you? Even though you're an obvious human girl.
You're a demon? Oh
yeah. If you kill Yorick, whatever the fuck his name is, I'll become your demon. Even though you should know that's not how that works."
By the way, the only way I could remember the bear's name was Boris Yeltsin for some reason. Yorick
Bernison?
That's it.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, anyway, Yorick Bernison turns up, he fucking kicks the other dude's ass, knocks his jaw off his face.
No, just the tooth. He knocks a tooth out of his jaw.
Knocks his jaw off.
He knocks the jaw off, does he?
He knocks the jaw off, yeah.
Oh, well.
And the jaw flies towards the camera, yeah.
I thought it was the tooth.
No.
Oh.
Suddenly hardcore, this film. Anyway, Friendly Bear then takes her to Bolvangar, and we get back to the plot. So Bolvangar is this place where the gobblers have taken all the children. She finds Roger there. She pretends to be someone else called Lily, whatever the fuck. Who gives a shit?
Lily Allen.
They find Roger. She goes snooping around, and she goes into this conference room, and then a load of people come in, including Mrs. Coulter. And they have a meeting at this table where they should obviously be able to find her hiding underneath, but they don't.
Yeah, because
so she's underneath and she's listening to this conversation, and they're talking something crook's happening. Oh, they give an update on what Lord Asriel's doing. He's up north somewhere researching shit,
and they're going to search him out, and then they're going to execute him.
There's battalions on the way to go fuck him up. Yeah. And Lyra and Pam are like, "Oh fuck, we better get up there and go help him." Lickety split. We've done Roger. Roger's done. Fuck him. Lord Asriel's next, and all the adults are fucking creepy in this movie.
Well, not all of the adults. All of the adults of the
Egyptians are all right.
Yeah, of the Magisterium, they're already creepy. Like, hello, welcome to our humble abode. Would you like to come in? Where have you been, child?
And they've all got creepy animals. All of their demons are like snakes and insects and shit like that. It's just like, oh yeah, no, these guys are gross. Like if you had a kid in a world where you have demons and you have a kid whose demon settles as like a creepy, like as a scorpion, you're going to be like, you're a bit fucked, aren't you?
Put him down. He's a wrong.
You might as well walk around with a sticker on saying my internet search history is dark. They find Lyra under the table, and then they put her in the machine. They found a way to cut people away from their demons without killing the person,
but just cutting away part of their soul. This is the other question I had. Why do they want to take away part of the soul? The explanation they give in the movie is this is how you grow up. It's for your own good. But like, what? You're gonna leave them empty husks of their former selves for the rest of their lives, and that's a good thing? In what world would this help you in any way, shape, or form?
It's not really given because I've seen this film a couple of times. I've read the book and I've watched the BBC show. I'm still not entirely sure about the concept of dust and what the machine, what they think the machine. I know why they've built the machine, which we'll get into in a bit. But their justification for it, like this cutting away of they call it like cutting away original sin or something like that.
Right. Okay.
It's fucked, and I don't really understand it.
I need to read the books.
But as the machine is kicking off, Mrs. Coulter walks back into the room, sees that Lyra's in the machine, freaks the fuck out, runs across and saves her from it.
Which I found quite surprising, seeing as I thought that she hated the shit out of Lyra.
But next scene, it turns out that she's actually Lyra's mum. Anyway, Lyra escapes. They have the big battle outside. Everyone, the Egyptians turn up. One bear turns up. Lee Scoresby turns up. The witches turn up.
By the way, the witch, do you remember her name? Because she seemed to be the only person who had like a triple-barreled name that everyone pronounced the entire thing of. It wasn't like anyone ever called her like Dave or like They just always said the entire name, and it's a really long name. I found that weird.
It's only a single-barreled name, sadly. But they say the whole thing every time. Serafina Pekkala.
Okay.
Anyway, they have the big fight and the big battle, and then a load of people get fucking wasted. I did like the dust effect when people died.
Yeah, that was good
because you don't necessarily see the hits of people dying and falling on the floor because it's a kids movie. It's not that gory, but because so many demons turn to dust, you're like, people are getting wasted left, right, and center in this thing.
Yeah,
it's way more gory than it is if you think about it.
And it was like probably the only really main action scene in the whole movie as well. It wasn't very much action, apart from maybe the polar bear fight. Not really much actual action, and then all of a sudden, a massive epic fight right at the end.
I will say they do remain consistent in this film about having the demons present.
Yeah,
because it's not a very long film. So there's fucking animals all over the place, and like Pantalaimons on her shoulder all the way through. And the golden monkey, and like you can always see people's demons in the background somewhere. The BBC show, because it's so long, it's too expensive to have CGI animals in the background of every fucking shot. So they'll give background characters animals that are like a dog or a cat, so it's on the floor,
and they'll angle it away.
And they'll angle the camera like from waist up so that you can't see the animal. Like they'll be talking, and every now they'll just look down and go, "Shut up!" And
or it'll be like a small animal that you can put in a purse.
Anyway, they have the big battle, and then they're in the hot air balloon, and they're going off to Lord Asriel, her and Roger, and they're talking about, and she's Cockney again now. Oh, apples and pears. Remember when I said that I'd find you? I totally find you. So I did, sir. Let's go and have other adventures. Yeah, that'd be great, wouldn't it? Yay. And credits all of a sudden.
Yeah. So, you found me, you kept your promise, so I'll follow you to wherever and look after you wherever. So he's basically Samwise Gamgee. And she's Frodo with the golden ring. I mean, the golden compass.
The golden compass. I mean, when they title it the golden compass, you assume that the alethiometer will be way more important than it actually is.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it only plays a subtle role in it.
Like, I think calling it the golden compass and the role that it plays, and like the core plot being about the children going missing, I think it's hard to tell. Like, if you're watching this without having read the source material or knowing anything about the story, you're like, what the fuck is this about?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. I thought it was about the Golden Compass
Yeah,
because it's called the Golden Compass, which I thought was the clue.
yeah.
I thought it was about like she was going to use this to. I don't know what she would use it for. I'm not a film writer, and like when you're watching it from the beginning, it mentions subtly the children going disappearing, and then her friends disappear. But then that entire
Mm.
storyline just they stop talking about it or mentioning it in any way, shape, or form for like I don't know 30, 40 minutes, half of the movie, and then all of a sudden they find Roger's mate in the shed, and they go, "Oh fuck yeah, those kids! We were gonna
Oh yeah, shit.
fucking hell! I've been playing with
We were supposed
bears."
to get the kids, right? Are we going to get the kids now? No, I'm going to fuck around with a bear for a bit.
Exactly. So, and then all of a sudden, that's it was really late in the movie. I was like, "Oh, that's the plot of the story. It's the kids have gone missing, and why did that? Okay, now I'm on board. Fucking, why did this happen at the fucking 55-minute mark?
And also, yeah, what's this thing about religion, and what is Lord Asriel doing, and why is any of that important, and what the fuck is dust? Like, you're barreling through these things, like mentioning them as if you're ticking them off a list, but you're not like explaining anything or making anything have any purpose or drive, or we don't know where we're going with any of this.
Or giving any of the characters any like a real character development. Like Lyra, obviously gets some; she's the main character, but like all the surrounding characters don't get very much insight into their actual characters. Even Madame Coulter, like she's a dick, but you only find out right near the end of the movie that she was married to, well, not married to, she fucked Asriel and was the mother. Before that, you don't know why she's such a dick.
Yeah, just that she is a dick. It's an adventure movie where you're like, we don't know what the adventure is, but we're on it. And don't get me wrong, it's an enjoyable adventure, but it's just like, I don't know why we're going anywhere to do all of these things. Like, obviously, I do now because I've read a book and I've seen a TV show that explained it to me. But in the context of just this movie, just on its own, without all of that additional stuff, you're like, okay, what are we doing? Where are we going? Why? What? And then credits. And you're like, what was that for?
Yeah. And then, like, I mean, that's why it seems to have so much potential to be a really good story,
Oh, it does.
but like, it just doesn't. It doesn't develop any of the storylines it introduces. It doesn't give it any kind of weight to them or any importance to them or any explanation of what they are or why they are. And then it just rambles around from story to story. Then, by the way, this and also this and that, we're going to have this and this and this. Leave me alone.
Why are we doing any of the things that we're doing? Why are the gobblers doing what they're doing? Why are they kidnapping kids? Why have they got this machine? Why are they cutting people's souls away? Why are they so fucking obsessed about dust?
I still don't know that. I've seen the whole movie. I don't know why they want to take away, other than Nicole Kidman's massive, perfect explanation of it's for their own good. This is how you grow up. That's all I know about why they're stealing kids and cutting away their souls and leaving them empty husks.
Also, remember that this is a film about the multiverse. Oh fuck! I forgot about that. You mentioned it very briefly in the first 5 seconds, and then didn't fucking bring it up again.
So that's so much potential. I think that this is why I'm going to watch if I can find it. I'm going to watch the TV series because I think that at a slower pace, where you got more hours to fill in more information with like more carefully, so that you can actually follow the storyline. I think it could be a really good story, but yeah.
Let's talk about the aftermath. What happened with this film? So it had a budget of $180 million. It made 70 million in North America. So it was not very well received in America, but it did fucking gangbusters everywhere else.
Really?
Especially in the UK and Europe. Well, the UK, because it's a British book and it's set in Britain. And for some reason, Japan fucking lapped this up. They loved this film. This made, in total, it made $372 million.
Oh, I thought you were going to say 372 million very confused and annoyed viewers.
It got back its budget asterisks on that, by the way. It got back its budget, and based on what it made, it warranted a sequel.
Did they make a sequel?
No, they didn't. They stopped at this one because there's 3 books. The second book is called The Subtle Knife.
Okay.
Yeah, they just shelved it partly because it only made 70 million in America. American audiences didn't like this.
Was the movie American made or English made?
It's American made.
Ah, okay. That would make sense then.
The movie itself was a mess in production. It went through numerous writers and directors. The thing is, though, that the original source material was controversial because it's a strong anti-religion message in it.
Ah, okay. That's probably why it did badly in America.
There were calls for it to be banned. It's in America. The book is regularly on banned lists.
It's like Dogma all over again.
And the church was out going, look, this is anti-religion. This is evil. It was compared to the Chronicles of Narnia, a book the writer fucking hates. And
was the book compared to Narnia or just the movie?
Yeah, the book is compared to Narnia, which the writer of the book fucking hates. But this is kind of like the antithesis of the Chronicles of Narnia, because this is, instead of being a long Jesus metaphor, this is a book series which, slight spoilers by the way, is about a man who wages war on God.
Okay. Well, to be fair though, if it is the antithesis, then that's a very good reason to be compared to Narnia.
Yeah. That's what Lord Asriel's doing. That's what he's up to, by the way. He's waging war on God.
Okay. The authority.
He's trying to get through the multiverse so that he can get to the kingdom of heaven.
Bold move.
That said, though, the religious controversy around the books isn't in the film as much because they watered it down a lot. The magisterium isn't as present in the.
Okay. The thing is that the magisterium should have been more present in it because it would have made things a lot clearer.
Because of the reputation of the book, even though they watered it down, the reputation of the book still made Catholics particularly angry with the film for existing, even if they were like, "Oh no, we watered it down." Yeah, but it's based on the evil book, so we don't like you. And fans of the book,
therefore, they shouldn't have watered it down. No matter, like when it comes to like religious people, it doesn't matter if you water it down or go whole hog on it. They're going to be pissed off. So you might as well at least keep the fans of the book happy. At least you have that audience.
But because they watered it down, fans of the book were like, "But you watered it down."
Exactly.
So they didn't like it either.
So don't water it down. Keep half of the people happy. One half is always going to be pissed off no matter what you do. The other half you can save by just not watering it down.
Some people blamed the failure of the film on the religious controversy surrounding it. But I think it was Sam Elliott, the guy who plays Lee Scoresby. He particularly said that he thought the religious fervor around it was why it failed. But others pointed out, like, there's other films that have like religious backlash, like the Harry Potter films and Twilight had religious backlash, and they were successful. But they weren't specifically about religion and killing God.
Yeah.
Whereas this one was.
True.
So based on all that and the fact that writing the first one, The Golden Compass, was a pain in the ass, writing a second one was like, oh, fucking hell. Not sure about this.
Yeah.
You know, I said asterisks on the 370 million.
Yeah.
That they made. This was made by New Line Cinemas, right?
Yeah.
It made 70 million in the US and then made 370 overall. Yeah. The problem was, to fund the project in the first place, New Line sold the international distribution rights to the film to fund the production in the first place. So all of the money that it made outside of America, it didn't get.
Oh, shit. They should have watered the fuck out of it. They should have got rid of the magisterium completely.
So because of that epically bad business decision on their part, it's like it's seen as one of the final nails in the coffin, because New Line Cinemas had to be sold to Warner Brothers.
That's why New Line Cinemas. That's why they were sold. Oh, fucking hell!
Like, they were on the ropes anyway, but this was the thing that put them over the edge. And shortly after, this was 2007. The financial crisis was in 2008, so that also fucked it. So yeah, that's why there was no subtle knife.
Yeah, to be honest, like I mean, I'm really interested in watching the HBO series. Like I said, I think this probably could be a really good story. But for me, it was too convoluted, too many things happening at the same time. Not enough focus on the actual main plot of the story. Not enough character development of just introducing people as though we already knew them, not giving us any information to help us get along with it. So I as much as I enjoyed watching it, once I got over my I got over my not quite understanding what was going on and just watching the pictures and watching the action scenes and trying to understand the story, I ended up enjoying it. But I think it could have been so much better. They needed another hour.
Yes, which brings us to the film abruptly ends. So we don't normally put spoiler warnings on this, but this is a spoiler warning from here on out. You're happy to hear this?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay. If you're listening to this and you've not seen the HBO BBC version and you've not read the books, but intend to and don't want the ending spoiled, then I'd stop now because we're just going to talk about this for the rest of the podcast. The ending. This film abruptly ends. In the book, there's 3 more chapters.
Oh.
When I found out what happens at the end, it made me reevaluate this film. I went from not minding this film to I really hated this film for a bit because they'd taken this thing out of the end. They explained their decision by saying, oh, we wanted a happy ending.
Okay.
And what we'll do is we'll take the last 3 chapters and what happens in them and shove them in the beginning of the next film because it kind of kicks off the events of the next film.
Right.
And gives this one a happy ending. When the book and the HBO BBC version, the ending is fucked and tragic.
Roger dies, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I fucking nailed it. Like, seriously?
Yeah.
So it's not going to be fucking Samwise Gamgee after all. Oh, man, I'm really happy that I nailed that. Why? How does he die?
So Lyra and Roger are in the balloon. They're going up north. Yeah.
Yep.
Azrael's up north. He's got a research station up there, and they're going up to help him. She's found out that it's her dad, and she's going to reunite with him. When they get there, she says, "Oh, can you Roger? Can you just wait outside for a minute so that I can go in and surprise him?" And she goes in and she surprises him, and he's immediately like, "No, anyone but you. No, you're not supposed to hear. Fuck off."
So he's still being a dick to her.
Tells her she shouldn't be there. He doesn't want her here. Anyone but her. He literally says that. Anyone but you. Fuck off. And this upsets the shit out of her, right? She spent this whole film trying to get up there, get to him, reunite with who she now knows to be her father. And the first thing that he says to her is, "No, not you. Anyone but you. Fuck off."
And also because she thinks that he needs the golden compass, right? So she wants to give him the golden compass. So she's trying to help him as well.
So that devastates her, understandably, and she gets upset and she starts crying or being upset. And he again fucking lays into her for being upset. And then Roger walks in, and then suddenly he's like, "Oh, hello."
Huh?
The look on your face right now.
Fuck off.
Do you remember in the balloon, just before the credits suddenly started, she's looking at the alethiometer, and the alethiometer, the good thing about the alethiometer is it tells her the truth, but it doesn't tell her
all the truth.
Like, it's still open to interpretation.
Yeah.
Based on the words that it uses. And it just tells her that she's bringing him
what he needs. Oh, so Roger's what he needs.
Roger's what he needs. She thinks it's the alethiometer, but it's actually Roger.
Okay.
Going back to Bolvanga, the machine, the reason that they're doing it, like, they've put like a quasi-religious twist on it. It's not a thing that they've come up with. They're doing the experiments at Bolvanga with the machine because they're trying to figure out what Lord Azrael is doing. It's his machine. It's his design.
He is the bad guy.
He is, yeah, in this one, yeah. He's supposed to be. So they're using the machine in Bolvanga mainly to try and figure out what the fuck he's doing.
Okay.
In the middle of the night, he fucks off to the mountaintop and he takes Roger with him. She wakes up like an hour later, realizes everyone's fucked off, and finds a couple of his notes, finds out that he's using this mountain. This mountain is the closest point to like a crossing to another universe. He needs to open a gateway between the universes so that he can go to another universe. And to do that requires a huge amount of energy, like the amount of energy that's released when you cut someone's demon away. So she realizes what he's doing and she runs up the mountaintop just as he's closing the machine on Roger and his demon, cuts away the demon, killing Roger instantly, opens a gate.
I thought it didn't kill him if you used that machine.
Oh, the one in Bolvanga doesn't, but his does, because he doesn't give a shit about that bit.
Oh.
He just needs the energy release. Releases the energy, opens the gateway, and while she's crying next to his Roger's dead body in the cage...
He doesn't like berate her for crying again, does he?
I think he might do, if I remember correctly. Doesn't give her any explanation except for his own motivations for what he's doing. Like, this isn't about you and your silly friend. This is, I'm about to kill God. Grow up, for fuck's sake. This is bigger than you. And then he fucks off through the portal. She promises to her dead friends and to Pan that she's going to follow. She's going to go through the multiverse, find out what the thing with fucking dust is, and get vengeance for Roger. And then she fucks off through the portal as well. Now it's credits.
See that? Yeah, I would be quite interested in watching a sequel after that.
Yeah, right?
So this film needed two things. It needed 1 extra hour to slow things down a little bit, make things a little bit clearer, a little bit more exposition, a little bit more character development. And it needed that ending to be included as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And maybe some of the extra storylines just the bear thing. We can talk about that later, maybe.
Now, the BBC HBO version, there's 3 series, and they roughly follow the books. Series 1 covers the same ground as this film, plus the last 3 chapters, plus a bit from the second book, because the second book starts with a different character in our world.
In our world, okay.
In our world, and that character discovers a window into another dimension, another universe, and in that dimension, he bumps into Lyra. So everything that he's doing kind of takes place at the same time as what Lyra's doing in the first book. So in the TV show, they're intercut with each other.
Okay, so as she jumps through the portal at the end of the book or the end of the first movie, what should have been the end of the first movie, he's also concluding his story and they happen to meet. Okay.
I highly recommend it. It's great. The main girl, Daphne Keane, she's much... Not say against the girl who's in this one, but she's much better as Lyra.
Okay.
Than this guy. The girl in this one. The cast, Ruth Wilson as Mrs. Coulter, 1,000 times better than Nicole Kidman. So fucking sinister and cunning and actively unsettling.
Hey, I would like to see that. What was the name of Dark Materials, was it?
His Dark Materials. It's a quote from Paradise Lost, apparently. Do you have any more anything that we haven't covered on this?
No, I think I covered everything. I mean,
did you cover the four things that you scrawled on a piece of paper?
I did, yeah. And and as you were talking, I thought of extra things as well. So, what did I write? Accents, drawing from, too much. No character dev, done. Those were my notes.
Right, I think that's it for today. Colin, where can people find you if they were so inclined to go a-looking?
Colin.gerard.92 on Instagram. But it's mostly just pictures of my cooking, so I wouldn't recommend going there.
And you can find me at The Badger's Apprentice on YouTube and on Twitter at TBA_tweets. And with that, goodbye.
And I really hope that we have satisfied your ears.